Sir Clive Alderton, private secretary schooled in the Foreign Office. He first joined the then Prince of Wales's office in 2006 as Deputy Private Secretary, then became Private Secretary for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs. After a brief return to the Foreign Office as ambassador to Morocco, he returned to Charles's side in 2015 as Private Secretary and took up the same role at Buckingham Palace on the King's accession in September. His diplomacy came to the fore during the Harry and Meghan furore over who said what about the colour of baby Archie's skin. The Queen's line, "Recollections may vary," was said to be his idea. Sir Michael Stevens, Keeper of the Privy Purse, formerly a finance director of the Royal Collection Trust, Sir Michael now has the top financial job in the King's household. He honed his nimble number skills at accountancy firm KPMG, serving in the UK and the Middle East. Vice Admiral Sir Tony Johnston-Burt, Master of the Household after spending his entire career in the Royal Navy, including becoming a qualified helicopter pilot, he became the Chief of Staff to NATO's Supreme Allied Command transformation at Norfolk, Virginia, in 2011. He joined the royal household in 2013 and is responsible for a huge number of jobs, from chief housekeeper to pages of the backstairs, to yeoman of the royal pantries. Alan Titchmarsh, the TV horticulturalist, has known the King for many years. He spent September 7 last year, the day before the Queen died, with the then Prince of Wales at Dumfries House, the Ayrshire estate saved by Charles, and where many young people learn new skills. Titchmarsh, 74, recalled Charles left the room after the black tie dinner as Duke of Rothesay and Prince of Wales, unaware that he was doing so for the very last time. Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber, the man behind Cats and Phantom of the Opera, shares a love of English choral music and cathedral architecture with the King, who asked him to compose an anthem for the coronation service. When Lord Lloyd Webber's son Nick died recently, he said, "The King not only sent me 2 letters about my son but, typically for him, rather than sending flowers, he has sent bulbs that could be planted." Major Johnny Thompson, groom of the robes, equerry and bodyguard, first noticed by the public when short-lived Prime Minister Liz Truss was photographed being received at Buckingham Palace and presented to the new King by kilt-wearing Major Johnny. A member of the 5th Battalion Royal Regiment of Scotland, his duties include bodyguarding and looking after royal carriages, coaches and limos. Dr. John Sorabji, Deputy Private Secretary and expert in constitutional law, Dr. Sorabji may well help the once outspoken Prince of Wales navigate trickier waters as he needs to be impartial as King. Don't miss. Sturgeon breaks silence in new statement released just moments after arrest. Latest, Man City panic as assistant coach's father goes missing in Istanbul. Latest, Ukraine's elite White Wolves annihilate Russian tanks with kamikaze drones. Latest, Lord Soames spent a large part of his career in politics, following in the footsteps of his grandfather, Sir Winston Churchill. Before entering Parliament he served in the army and in 1970 was appointed equerry to the then Prince Charles. Has been a close friend since. Jonathan Dimbleby, the journalist and broadcaster, wrote an official biography of Charles in the early 1990s at the height of the prince's marital troubles. He has had his ear ever since. After the furore over the coronation's homage of the people, which involved people pledging their loyalty to the King and his successors, Jonathan appeared on Radio 4's Today program on the eve of the coronation, saying Charles would find it abhorrent, and blamed the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, for its wording. Lord Richard Chartres, Lord Chartres, the former Bishop of London, has been friends with the King since they were students at Cambridge together in the 1960s. They share a love of liturgy and the Greek Orthodox Church. Charles asked Chartres to consecrate the chapel cum sanctuary he built in the grounds of his Highgrove home. Sir Jonathan Porritt, a former teacher and barrister, Sir Jonathan, 72, became Director of Friends of the Earth from 1984 to 1990. He has also been a leader of the Green Party and chaired the Sustainable Development Commission. He is considered a hugely influential advisor to Charles on green issues. Marquess of Cholmondeley, the 7th Marquess, also known as David Rock Savage, had a career in filmmaking. Home is the fabulous Houghton Hall in Norfolk. He was appointed as a Lord-in-Waiting to the King in March, and his son, Lord Oliver Cholmondeley, was a page to the King at the coronation. The Marquess, 62, and his wife, Rose Hanbury, have also been friends with the Prince and Princess of Wales. Sophie Dinsham, private secretary to Queen Camilla. Sophie Dinsham has worked in the royal household for more than a decade, moving to the then Duchess of Cornwall's staff in 2008, before becoming her assistant private secretary in 2015. She became her top aide in 2021. Annabel Elliot, Queen Camilla's closest confidant throughout the difficult years of being the Prince of Wales's mistress, the Queen continues to rely on her younger sister, 74, for advice. An interior designer, Elliot was widowed in March. She was one of the two Queen's companions who were with her throughout the coronation service. Her grandson, Arthur, son of her son Ben Elliot, a former Conservative Party chairman, was one of the Queen's pages at the coronation on May 6. Marchioness of Lansdowne, Queen's companion, also known as Fiona Shelburne, the Marchioness, 68, is an interior designer and chatelaine of historic Bowood House, Wiltshire. She also attended Camilla at the coronation and is another of the Queen's companions. She is popular with the King too, as she shares the royal couple's love of dogs, countryside and rural pursuits. Sarah Troughton, Queen's companion, the first woman to be appointed Lord Lieutenant of Wiltshire, Troughton, 69, is part of the Wiltshire-Gloucestershire set that Charles and Camilla socialise with, close to their homes at Highgrove and Raymil House. Sarah told an ITV documentary, "I defy anybody not to be charmed by a smile from the Duchess." Lady Carlin Chisholm. Lady Chisholm is a former nurse and life peer who has known the King and Queen for years through hunting with the Beaufort. Now one of Camilla's companions. Lady Sarah Keswick, Queen's companion. Like Lady Lansdowne, Sarah Keswick is friends with both the King and Queen. Through her husband, Sir Chips, she is part of the Keswick family whose fortune is linked to the Hong Kong group Jardine Matheson. Although Sir Chips is a former chairman of Arsenal, he seems to prefer horse racing and hunting to football. Baron and Baroness van Westenholz. Piers van Westenholz, an interior designer, revamped Charles's pet project Dumfries House and has been close to the King for years, while his wife Jane is one of the Queen's companions. Their daughter Violet is said to have been the matchmaker who introduced Prince Harry to Meghan Markle. Lady Catherine Brooke, another friend from the world of horses. Lady Brooke is the wife of Sir Francis Brooke, the monarch's representative at Ascot Racecourse, and she is one of Camilla's companions. She is the daughter of Lady Susan Hussey, former lady-in-waiting to the late Queen. Duke and Duchess of Wellington. Descended from the Iron Duke, the Duke of Wellington owns considerable lands in Spain where Charles has been a frequent visitor. Lord and Lady Talmash Saw, an interior designer, and her husband Timothy have known the King and Queen for years and regularly stay at Sandringham. Their son Edward is the King's godson and their grandson Ralph was one of the King's pages at the coronation. Dame Judi Dench, the Oscar-winning actress, has played Queen Victoria twice on film and is a patron of Friends of Osborne House, the Isle of Wight holiday home of Victoria. She and Camilla have visited it together. Dame Judi spoke out about the crown earlier this year, calling its depiction of the Diana-Charles-Camilla triangle cruelly unjust. Craig Revel Horwood, the acid-tongued Strictly judge, got to know Camilla through their work for the Royal Osteoporosis Society, where he is an ambassador and she is president. They also share a love of dance. He clearly thinks she is fabulous. She's such a lovely, down-to-earth person and we always have lots of fun together, including dancing the cha-cha-cha from time to time, he told Hello! In 2022. Andrew Parker Bowles, the Queen's former husband and father of her children Tom and Laura, remains on good terms with Camilla. They frequent the Cheltenham Festival together. Parker Bowles was a guest at the coronation where he and Camilla's grandsons, Freddie, Louis, and Gus, were her pages. Catherine Pepinster is the author of Defenders of the Faith, The British Monarchy, Religion and the Coronation, published by Hodder and Stoughton.
Now take